RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
It was just an early August week. This week was great. It was my anniversary. 2 years.
How's that?
2-year anniversary. Made some...
You guys are still together?
You're a funny guy. I gotta turn you up. I gotta turn you on.
You did this a little bit better
I
than
didn't
last time.
do anything. It was set up already. Remember?
Oh, maybe because I fixed it when we left.
I didn't set up anything. It was already all ready to go.
I must have fixed it.
Which is a good way to do it. I think from now on, I'll just never take this equipment with me ever again. Yeah, man, we did made some baked mac and cheese, as well as some homemade pizzas, little mini pizzas, and then had some drinks. Relaxed. We played this game where you like ask each other these questions, and it's like almost like discussion topics in a way. And you kind of just dive into each other's psyche a little bit, like talk about like a favorite memory as a kid and that sort of stuff. So it's good couples exercise. You and I should actually do some of those questions.
Yeah, you should bring them on air.
I'll bring them next week.
That can be like an entire segment. We just spend 20 minutes answering these.
Now, there's some romantic questions in the mix.
It'd actually be better if you include them.
I'll think about it. But
I mean, it's not hard.
So
right?
yeah, man, you screwed up our softball league. That's pretty disappointing. This is literally
we're still gonna
fault.
play. We're still gonna play
Again, I just spent money on cleats.
Well,
shiny new cleats.
Well, we're still gonna go out. I'm gonna have to go buy a softball bat.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna go hitting this weekend.
We still are.
Okay, because right now I'm pretty bummed because I got an email that says, you know that league you said, which is weird that they tell us this now.
Yeah, I am
just signed
upset
up.
with and literally, so the only premise for signing up in the way we did, because we didn't have enough for a full team, they're like, hey, we'll make sure you guys stay on the same team. You'll get whatever. We'll just...
They were happy to take our money.
Yeah, and so it's ridiculous. So we're still going to play. We'll figure out how many people still want to play, and that will determine our decision. But at the very minimum... Shout
out Fairfax County Softball League. Screw you.
Yeah,
if you're listening.
Jesus. I mean, it's unreal.
Well, that was disappointing news because,
and also the mistake in doing those like group consensus things, it's always good to do the democratic solution, but someone is always going to not want to do a certain
That's why
day.
you got to just take charge, which is what you did.
Literally, I'm just like, here are 3 days.
Yeah.
Pick one, and the majority is what we're rolling with.
Yeah.
And so Tuesday's one. And I guess, Saturday isn't bad.
I'm fine with I get up early on Saturdays anyways. I'm down to do whatever. And Saturdays as a whole are a fine day, so I'm down.
I'm not necessarily, but so Nick can't play on Saturdays. So
he probably works or something.
He works because the car industry's got crazy schedules.
Keeps on rolling. Yeah, car
on our four wheels, but sometimes two if you own a motorcycle dealership.
Yeah, that's true.
And sometimes one if you own a unicycle shop.
Unicycle shop. Yeah, I've actually thought about it. It's
and I guess 4 wheels is not limited to just vehicles because lawnmowers.
Unis.
What?
Unis.
Is that a
unicycle shop?
Junie Cortez from Spy Kids?
Yep, Unis. That's the name of the shop.
Did you see that Machete
saved a turtle?
What?
Oh, no, he saved a person.
A turtle.
Well, a turtle, that would still be
a turtle from he has saved a turtle before.
Yeah.
But there's a flipped over car.
Yeah.
And he straight up just like Spy Kids his way in and saved the baby from a flipped over on fire car. And was like, hey, no big deal.
That's because he's Machete, man.
Machete.
He does anything. He's their, what was he, their grandfather or he wasn't their father in that movie. Or was he the villain? I don't remember.
No, I thought he was like their brother.
How could he be their brother?
Their uncle.
Their uncle.
Their
yeah,
real
definitely
uncle.
Not their brother. Yeah.
Because the other uncle was like a fake uncle.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't call me your uncle anymore. And they're like, well, we spent the whole first 14 years of our life calling you uncle.
You gave us birthday parties every year and all that stuff. So this Saturday will be kind of a reunion of sorts.
The last time we did this was right before my wedding. And we destroyed my legs.
Right.
Doing workouts.
I was over there doing my prep for the half marathon, and while you guys all lifted. But this time I will be participating in the lifting.
Yeah, it's going to be an early morning rise and grind at Nick's Brick Gym.
Yeah, who knows what it's called?
I don't remember what it's called either. Sorry,
Sponsor of the show.
It should be fun though.
But we're gonna get the only thing I care about is the food that we will consume afterwards.
Yeah, I really hope it's a solid brunch
But
place.
here's what I'm worried about though is like, so I'm gonna get like pretty sweaty. So like I'm clearly gonna need to bring a change of clothes.
You will, 100%. Please,
Okay.
and
no,
deodorant
don't say
too.
please. Okay, yes, I wear deodorant. I'm not a stinky sweater. I'm just a sweater.
I just remember in the dorms at night where you'd put on the deodorant.
Oh, I don't need that
lasts
anymore.
Like six
Yeah,
weeks.
I don't need those anymore.
It was this ultra high concentrated military grade sweat-proof thing, and you would dab it on there, right? And then I walked in one time, and you had both your feet in
you
there,
had to let it air,
and both your arms in the air, like on your back,
like a dead bug,
And I'm like, so what's going on here? And you're like, oh, I just put on deodorant. And I was like, Ben, I've been putting on deodorant for several years now, and I've never once assumed that position.
So I had that issue, growing up, where, and it's a common issue.
What happens when you come out of the womb like 6'2"?
Yeah, this is true. Where the underarm, the pit stain sweats, and they were basically the bane of my existence from like age 12 through age like 20. We're talking in middle school. It would always hit for middle school and high school. The armpit sweats would always hit right around like noon. I'd be fine like through the morning, and then right around noon they'd be working overtime. It didn't matter how much deodorant I had on. I'd have to layer up. It was and then I will tell you, I've thought a lot about this because I looked into this subject matter quite a lot. I found I went through a lot of different specialty deodorants.
Yeah. You had some crazy ones.
And then the one that you knew of, that was the last one that I had, was actually a Oprah recommendation. Oprah Sweat Block. It was, and it was these little towelettes. They're little moist towelettes, and you were supposed to dab them under your arms before you went to sleep. I'd always use one side for one arm and the other side for the other arm, and then you had to let them air dry. So that's why my arms would be up in the air.
Why are your feet in the air too? Is that just to...
I don't know. I don't remember the feet in the air. That might have been a different night or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what that.
Why would you say it that way?
I don't know.
That must have been a different night.
I don't think I had like foot ones. I did actually at one point, but that was in high school. But you'd have to let them air dry. So before you went to bed, I'd have to do the armpits up in the air, let them dry, and then after about 5 minutes, they were good to go.
And that lasted like the whole.
And it lasted for like a week. Like nice. You wouldn't really sweat under, and you could shower normally and all that stuff. Also, fun fact: deodorants with aluminum, you want to kind of cut those out. You want to go into the natural deodorant
Aluminium,
game.
Yeah. Aluminium?
Oh, like the thing that's in Wolverine's veins?
No, that's adamantium.
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought it was aluminum, just aluminum.
Well, it is aluminum, but it's also pronounced aluminium.
It's not pronounced by that. Pronounced by who? Willy Wonka?
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
It's kind of like minerals in minerals.
No, you just said the same thing in the exact same way twice in a row.
Sorry.
It's minerals. It's pronounced minerals.
It's like vitamins.
Nobody says vitamins. That's like a British thing.
Vitamins and aluminium.
Aluminium? That sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
Aluminium.
And then like the person dies. They're like, oh my God, I did not mean to do that. How would you practice the Vada Kedavra spell? Like you couldn't. It would have to be just a one-take Jake.
Stuff. Oh yeah.
It could do it on animals, right?
Right, but like it apparently still damns your soul. But that was also like I always wondered that because like they have a spell book.
That's
of
a
all
big
this
decision
stuff, right?
to go to Vada Kedavra.
They never explained.
Was it in alphabetical order? Was Vada Kedavra like the first one on the spell book? Like, all right,
practice on each other. Start at the top of the list. Oh God, Jimmy's dead.
Avada Kedavra.
But I'm just wondering, so like they never cover how you actually make spells.
Yeah.
It's just like all of them are known forever. Yeah. So like you could maybe combine random words, but like
and just test them out.
You would not know what the effect is.
No.
But I feel like if you did something and said aluminium, something's
gonna happen.
Something crazy.
Somebody's gonna like
turn
turn into the Tin Man or something.
Yeah,
like
or
that.
like they just never explained that, and I'm like, nothing is stopping me from pointing a wand
Also, did they
at
ever
you.
explain like the reversals? Like, okay, you turn a guy into like a pig. How do you unturn him into the pig? Do you like say it backwards or something?
What if you say it wrong?
Yeah.
Do they come out as like some half pig, half human?
Or like, what if you have a speech impediment? Can you just never get any spells off because you're like,
they probably
and then
today, Junior.
They kill you at that point.
It's either that or like maybe it's like a less effective version. So it's kind of like you have your brand name,
Sure.
And then you have like the generic. Right?
So like Avada Kedavra, it would like be like a pinch on the arm. It'd be like, oh, what the hell? Was that a little bee sting?
Yeah, if you said it weird, it'd be like a lesser effect.
Or like,
of that.
well, how did it work for other languages? Because this was still the world, so there were people that spoke like Chinese. Was there a Chinese version of these spells, or was it literally?
Imagine how terrifying that would be, right? What if you're like that? Even if
or like a German version of the spell? Ugh.
Like
Avada Kedavra. That's not German, but yeah.
but like what it like
Avada Kedavra.
what if like if you're hearing that for the first time and like if you two were happily like maybe you're dueling, if you're hearing someone
You're just like a tourist, and you're like,
scream
what
in a different language
Yeah.
using the same magic, I would be like, did he just? Am I gonna die?
How do you combat that spell at that point? You can't.
You don't.
Because you can't understand the language. And that's the thing. I think this is the type of questions that if we could get JK Rowling, by the way, it's Rowling, not Rowling.
Her answer would be everyone is gay.
I'd like to have, yeah, that would be.
JK, that doesn't answer the spell question. Well, no, everyone is gay though.
That's funny. That's funny. That's one of the funnier things you've ever said. Not that being gay is funny, but just whatever. JK Rowling. Yes,
You backtrack a little bit more. Let's run
oh
over
my
that
god.
Because you imagine just sitting down in the interview and being like, JK, there are a couple plot holes that you didn't quite fill in. One of these is the formulation of spells and the different languages, kind of the baseline and how spells are put together.
It's like, well, it all starts with their homosexuality.
Yeah, right. So, like, as I mentioned, every character is gay, and that is a lot to draw upon when I was writing this story. And I left it blank so readers wouldn't interpret it as any other way. Be like, but the answer...
but that doesn't help us in this question. Last thing before we get ready to start the show, I had a dream last night.
Yeah, you texted me about this.
I texted you about this, but I didn't tell you what it was.
No,
so
I'm curious.
It was you and me. We were at a concert. And it was like a country concert, which is unusual for me. I don't really go to country concerts.
I went to a few. I don't mind them.
I'm sure they're fine. I have nothing against them. But you and I were at this country concert. But the country concert became more of like a religious ceremony.
Oh, no.
And so the guy who was the singer or whatever, it was just some generic person in the dream, at one point started putting up slides on like the back of the thing on the stage. And they all were like signs that you're Muslim. And I was like,
what?
And we were both like looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? And then he started going at all these other religions and stuff like that. And then he started looking out in the audience. He's like, and he started getting mad because they were selling beer there because there was a concert venue. And he's like, if you're drinking beer right now, you're a sinner and you're going to hell.
Did we have beer?
Yeah, of course we had beer.
Okay.
We're at a concert. Of course we did. And then the kicker was at the very end of the concert, he starts coming out on this big long walkway and he has a bucket filled with holy water. And he's starting like old school church style, like tossing holy water at you, like using this little like brush or whatever. And you and I were looking at each other like, we got to get the hell out of here. And then he takes the bucket and he gets to us and he chucks it at you and me.
Oh my God.
And that's when I woke up. I woke up like right at that moment.
That seems really scary.
It was scary, and like everybody
was it at Jiffy
around
Lube
us,
Live?
It was probably at Jiffy Lube Live, to be honest. But it was one of those things like we went to a concert, but it turned into like a ceremony because all the people around us were in robes. We weren't in robes; we were just in normal clothes.
That might be a dead giveaway.
I just liked the slideshow that he had. He was like, "Signs you're Muslim," and it was like, "Oh, okay."
First one, it's
like a David Letterman bit. It's like 10 things that will turn out you're Muslim. Number 10, and then
you practice the. You are Islamic.
It was a wild dream, but I had to preface this because anytime you tell somebody you were in my dream last night,
first thing you go to
first
is
thing is sex.
That was the first thing.
100%.
My first question was like, do we have clothes on?
Yeah,
and listen, and it's fine if you don't because most dreams like that.
No, I always have my clothes on in my dreams, even if there's sex happening in my dreams. I'm fully clothed because I'm so uncomfortable without my clothes.
Right,
that I'm always fully clothed.
That seems a little strange,
even in my dreams. Still, though, I still say the best dreams ever. And it hasn't happened to me in like 10 years, is when you can do whatever you want in it. It turns into like Tony Hawk Underground.
Unless you actually like, it's like the dream journals, right? So you wake up, you write down exactly what happened. And
does that thing work?
Yeah, you do it enough times. So I had a buddy that did this. And
I should try to do that.
He said it took him about 3 weeks before he started noticing stuff. So what happens is you notice a pattern in your dreams. And it's kind of like like Inception when they have that little coin or something that makes them know if it's a dream or not.
Yeah.
So he said that he would see someone would always suggest that he should fly.
Oh.
And when he heard that, he was then cognitively aware.
Then he knew, I'm in a dream.
And he was like, I'm in a dream. And he said he couldn't just make things appear.
So cool.
But what he could do is influence the outcomes, right?
Yeah.
So he could like set things up so that something would happen.
God, we got to do this.
But he said it got so crazy that he was taking naps every day.
Yeah.
After school, after work.
Just flying.
And he would the first thing he'd do when he goes home, he would go to sleep, wake up, write down what happened. He said it became so obsessive that he was spending more time
Asleep than awake.
Wow. And trying to do cool things in his dreams. But apparently it's got mixed results for people, but the consensus is there is a pattern and you can influence what you dream about.
Wow.
And there are a few dreams where you kind of know that, right?
Yeah.
Unconsciously.
Every now and then. But it takes, sometimes it's years in between. The craziest are the dreams that you're like, oh my God, I had this dream like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh my God, I definitely have had this. That always blows my mind.
I had one specific one where that came back again last year. And the last time I had it every couple of years, the last time I had it was probably in college.
Yeah.
It was a dream where Griffin Harrington,
Yeah.
he's one of our photographer buddies. Every time he took a picture of somebody, it would turn them into like a zombie.
Oh, nice.
And so he had done all these photo shoots, and it takes a little bit of time to take effect. But like, there's this epidemic outbreaking. Zombies are eating everyone. We happen to be with him, and he's still like taking pictures of everything and other people. And we figured out, we're like, Griffin, stop taking pictures of people.
Stop. He's like, I'm just doing my job. This is my career.
And he wouldn't stop, and he was turning everyone into zombies. And so like we got all this gear, and we went to this abandoned house on this hill, and then all of a sudden on the first floor we saw a flash. And then Griffin starts walking up the steps, and like we were losing our minds, and it always ends there. Wow. But I had that again.
That would make a good movie or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible.
Not bad. The zombie photographer. He like captures their souls in his film.
There you go. That would be
Not a
like
bad idea.
You could probably easily get that done on like FX or like
easily.
Sci-Fi.
Yeah, easily. It would be so easy. I could just email them, fx@fx.com. So I need the haiku. We need to put together a little haiku here.
I totally forgot.
Before we start the show. Oh, well, that just shows your dedication to the show. And by the way, our audience, while Salty Dalton gets the haiku generator ready, we do want to remind you we're a couple weeks away from the 1-year anniversary show, so please get your emails and voice memos to us. Actually have a couple come in already, the randomwordblog@gmail.com.
Okay, so do we want to fill it out manually, or do we want to just fill the entire form with random ideas?
Random ideas.
Okay. Write me a poem.
All right, let's hear it. Here we go.
Biscuit. A haiku.
Okay.
Early, icy fall. A little dark biscuit crawls in spite of the bear.
Oh, it's kind of sad. It's like,
yeah, it kind of makes you feel something.
It's just a little biscuit crawling, and then there's in spite of the bear.
The bear was definitely like, "Don't you crawl!"
It's a pretty big obstacle.
That's that Rage Against the Machine. You won't do what you told me.
And the biscuit's just. That is the biscuit. That is the start of the show. Let's kick things off.
I'm just going to keep saying the name. It's the Random Word Podcast. You got to understand what that means, right? Yeah. Everything that they do is based on Spy Kids.
I came up with this dick monster.
By the way, look at that bird. That could be on the Random Bird.
Letting the sweet release of death embrace me. Grab the dustpan!
Dog justice.
Dog justice too.
Feel the lure.
Yeah.
Tim's dad has been thrown out of 5 Little League games so far by the local umpire crew here, but
I just can't quit you, dear. I just can't shoot you.
Can't quit you.
Good morning.
What? Good morning. Hey, buddy. Wake up. It's time to go. I ordered these from the Baby Gap. Eating a dictionary?
and she kept saying the word heavy.
Hunter, I barely know her.
Your Tamagotchi has AIDS. It's like, how does it have AIDS? Like, so many baby heads could fit in there.
I don't think bite my neck like a fucking vampire.
Oh.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's time to waste your time. It's the Random Word Podcast with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
Welcome in, Rando Nation. Breaking news. I'm here to report episode 44 of the Random Word Podcast with your host, Ben and Salty Dalton, in front of our live studio audience in the studio here today. Terrence, how are you doing?
Just barely hanging on.
I'm all right, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Thank you again, Terrence. Your motivation just is incredible.
His interest in the show has waned over the years.
Well, it would help if he wasn't chained to the basement.
Quick note, I will also, I forgot to mention that it's strange. I'm hearing words from this show in my daily life now, in like podcasts and different things.
I've been watching I'm so sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. No.
So Schitt's Creek
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah. I know that
Incredible show.
Yeah, it's funny.
Have used at least 4 of
Our
the words, the most recent one being confabulate.
Yeah.
And I lost my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
On one of the Nats games, Bob Carpenter, the Nats play-by-play guy, used the words
Catbird seat.
Catbird seat.
Yep.
And then this podcast I was listening to, the guy used the word milk toast, which I was just like, this is incredible.
Milk Toast is also in Parks and Recreation after our 20th watch through.
It's unbelievable.
It clicked, yeah.
Hearing these words in every day. So if you're a listener of this show, be sure to let us know when you hear our random words in your daily life. And again, as Salty Dalton said, this is the Random Word Podcast. Find us on Instagram at the Random Word Podcast.
I didn't see that part.
Also,
but
email us.
I guess you're covering that base. Because
Covering-
you said, like, as I said, you can find us on this stuff.
No,
I didn't say that
Yeah,
yet.
that's why you toss it over to me, and then I finish it off. You tee it up, and I slam it home. That's how this relationship's always
So
worked.
it's the alley and the oop.
Yeah, you're the passer, and I'm the dunker.
Okay. The dunker seems a little more
It's
exciting
flashier.
of a role.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Random Word Podcast. And also email us at randomwordblog@gmail.com, like I mentioned. 2 weeks away from the anniversary show, we'll be playing some clips from the first episode. We'll hopefully have some call-ins from people like CMO Pete, maybe intern Will, Pat Cass.
We should just tell them to do voice memos. I don't feel like talking to them on the phone.
I don't know. We'll get Pete's thoughts on it.
They're terrible people.
Oh, I know. And actually, I had somebody bring this up to me today. They said, "Man, how does it feel to have your CMO really not care about the show?" And I told him I would bet my next paycheck that Pete has not listened to this show in the last month. I would bet literally my paycheck that Pete has not listened within the last calendar month. But please get in your emails and your voice memos to the randomwordblog@gmail.com. We're a couple weeks away from that anniversary show, as we mentioned. And because it looks like Salty Dalton will now be in town here. Sounds like the trip got canceled. So you'll be around for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to having another person come in on the show with me, not you, but I guess you'll be here. Let's move into, that was a joke. Let's move into the reason why we are here, and that is to present with you with a random word. So, Salty Dalton, are you ready?
Sure.
All right, let's do this.
Your word is. Your word is.
Splendiferous.
Come on. That's not.
It's actually a real word.
That's
yeah.
not a word.
Splendiferous. 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 It's an adjective, and it means extraordinarily, showily, impressive. So, like, if you, so the preacher at the Jiffy Lube Live concert that turned into a religious cult, the show itself was splendiferous.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
It was.
He was baptizing people in a splendiferous fashion.
Okay.
He hated Muslims splendiferously.
That was a weird part of the dream.
Yeah.
Nothing subconscious on my end. It was part of the
Definitely
dream.
not. It means
No.
nothing. Don't read into
Literally.
it at all.
Oh, we do have a foreign audience actually. We do have. I was checking the breakdown of the downloads, and we're talking about. First of all, we're talking about 10 different states in the United States, 10 plus, and then we're talking about
10 plus states?
10 plus states, California, Florida, North Carolina, New
California.
York, Pennsylvania. We've also got 3 other countries, I believe. I believe it's Sweden, Mexico, and I think like Morocco or something. It was like some strange country that I would never have thought would have downloaded the show, but they found us, and they're probably literally just collecting all of our information so they can
Take over the world.
I thought maybe, I don't know if our information would help them take over the world. I meant more they would steal our identities. What if there are two? Here's one quick thing with parallel universes.
Yeah, 100%.
You know that there are 2 guys who look just like you and me that are in, this isn't a parallel universe, but this is another part of the world, that are sitting like in China in their basement doing a podcast right now.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, and one of them is really funny. The other one is, exists.
The analytical one, right? Is that the tag you
smart
slapped
guy.
on me? Yes.
The smart guy. And they're just sitting there and they're like doing their
Wise
show.
guy, huh?
And
Forget about it.
and they're just doing their show for their fans. And like that's happening probably 5 different places across with.
Well, you're talking about parallel universes.
Parallel universes,
There is a parallel universe where this show is wildly successful and is maybe like, it's basically like the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
But it'd be with Ben and Salty Dalton.
Yeah, we're in front of a live studio audience.
An actual live studio audience, and
Yeah.
not just Terrence over here in the corner. Hey, I'm kind of hungry.
Shut up.
Terrence, I swear to God.
Yeah, you're
Swear
right.
to me.
Just imagine that. What if like our universe ran into that parallel universe, and like we both are doing that thing where we're like, what? And we're like looking at the other version of us.
What?
And then we start fighting each other.
I mean, that's...
like when Captain America had to fight Captain America.
You basically just described the plot of Fringe.
Yes, and that's what we are.
We are Fringe.
That would be cool.
I liked Fringe.
So if you do listen to our successful show in the other parallel universe, also let us know about that as well. So Splendiferous is the word. Speaking of things that are showy and interesting and fantastic, we got to thank the people that got us here. I like this new way that you're handling the sponsors, because I'm not looking until we actually do the show, and now we're going to have to figure this out.
The first 2 words pop in my head. Boom, paper.
Well, the words that pop into my head is comfort.
Comfort.
And what the things that you don't normally get with comfort is here's the problem, Salty Dalton, is
What is the problem, Ben? Explain it to
you're
me.
sitting there on your couch and
Yeah.
you're watching TV, you're playing video games, something like that, but you're cold, right? So you put your blanket on, but then suddenly, crap, I gotta put my arms back over the blanket to get to the controller, to get to the
Sometimes your feet
the
are
remote,
sticking out.
or I call it the turner.
What?
Abby hates that I call it that. It's the turner.
No, it's a remote.
No, it's the turner.
No, it's
it's the turner.
you ignorant piece of
It's the turner.
Ben,
What does it do? It turns
Ben,
the channel.
I swear to God, I will end the show right now.
I'm not even kidding.
I'll walk away. I won't even care. I won't come back.
It's the turner.
It is a remote control.
What does it do? It doesn't control the channels. It turns the
controls
channels.
TV. No, it doesn't just turn channels. That
when you press
sounds
the channel up button.
So dumb. I have
That's
the
how I
same
change my
argument.
channels.
What do you call a shopping cart?
A basket.
Fuck. Okay. It's either it's a shopping cart.
Yeah.
And there's another word for it, which is called buggy, which is all Ashley's family says.
Oh, really?
And they're like,
That's
go
weird.
grab the buggy. And I'm like, grab what?
Isn't that like where horse and buggy, like for Amish people?
That's what I'm saying. There's no buggy around here. But apparently it means shopping cart. And
Yeah.
so it's a point of contention. And the one thing I hate more than that is calling a remote control the turner. Where did you get that from?
So you're using your turner, right? And you're under a blanket and...
Are you cutting all that out?
This is tough. No, of course not. Now, you could go buy a Snuggie and look like a fucking idiot, or Snuggies are probably great, or you can buy this new technology where we combine the Snuggles comfort element and the technology element, and we bring you Snug Tech. And what that is the technology, like the iPad or the phone, is actually sewn into the blanket. So what happens is, picture your regular phone. Well, guess what? Now, instead of having to put your... No, that wouldn't make sense, because you still have to move your arms above the blanket to get to the screen.
Just keep vamping. You're doing all right.
So actually what this is the remote, the turner, is sewn into the blanket.
You just said remote.
Yeah, I meant to say turner. So the turner is actually sewn into the blanket. So you can keep your arms underneath the blanket and turn the channels and
without seeing the remote.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's like a
Just
universal
the way
remote.
God
The
intended.
turner. Go ahead and go to snugtech.com. This is a very practical device. And you can enter in our code RWP Turner and get 20% get a 20% discount at your checkout. Again, it's RWP Turner, like the character from Fairly Odd Parents, Timmy Turner. And yeah, get your Snug Tech today. So
That was one of the worst ads I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know what you mean. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, what do I have? Things.
Sure.
stuff, shoes, watches, glasses. Now, I say these words to you and they seem almost unrelated, right?
Right.
But they're not.
Huh.
They're things we buy every day. They're things we spend time trying to find the perfect thing to match our everyday lifestyle. And so when anyway, so we're trying to find these things to match our lifestyle. There's been a fantastic new company that's been shooting up the Forbes top 100 list of fastest, most efficient startup companies. And I'm talking about a new subscription service. It's called Picket.
Oh, hire somebody to pick your nose.
Yes. You've heard of all these things like Stitch Fix and the weird thing where you order the watches and the Dollar Shave Club and the bespoke box where you're getting, clothing delivered to you subscription-wise. I'm offering, for the first time, that RWP is joining with Picket to present to you, the consumer, a unique experience where you get to pick. You are sent 9 random items in the mail, and you can decide whether or not to keep them or to toss them back to the. Don't throw them away. You have to send them back.
Yeah, no.
It's basically a subscription service, right? It's one of those like fancy boxes, but it's full of random things that you don't know you need until you look at it. And that's fine if you don't want them. You only pay for the things you keep. It's Picket. That sounded like half a Shark Tank idea.
I was about to say, what
that crashed
in the world? By the way, can you move those blinds down a little bit? They're shining directly on the camera.
How long has that been like that?
You look like you're in heaven right now. No, only for that read.
That's the worst read, though.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, so nobody can see you for it. So I guess that's probably helps your end. Oh, God. I think I have those exact pants, but in my size. And I have a black belt that looks exactly like that. I just don't wear any of this stuff. I wish. Do you think you can join karate at like this age?
Yes, I did Krav Maga recently.
I don't want to do Krav Maga because that's hard. I'm talking about karate. All I really want to do in my life is to be able to chop a wood block. That's probably where I'd stop at karate. I would just ask if you can teach me how to break a board. That's all I really need to know, because that's a good like parlor trick. It's like, hey, you can just keep a stack of boards in your house, and then when you bring people over, you can have them at the ready, be like, hold this, and then boom, you break it, and you go, man, well, I know karate, because that's the only extent people are going to ask you to display your karate is just to break the board.
Right? Did I ever tell you that I did take karate when I was little?
No.
And did I tell you why I quit?
You did not.
I've taken 3 different martial arts for a very short amount of time in my life.
As you do.
The first one, I was super younger, and I was like, it was in Colorado when I was living there, and we had to do this warm-up thing.
Colorado karate.
Yeah, so it's better if I show it to you. So we would do the thing. This is like pre-white belt. This is like I'm learning the basic stuff. We would spend like the first 25, 30 minutes warming up, and to me that felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And there was this one exercise.
Oh, let's see this. Don't hurt yourself here. Oh, okay.
The guy would make us do this.
Yeah. So right now, Salty Dalton is standing up straight, bend over a little bit. Knees are together. His hands are on his knees, and he's just kind of moving in a circle with his hips.
And it's supposed to like warm up your joints or something. I was so fed up with doing that, and that's the only reason I associate not doing it ever again. I quit right then and there.
It's a nifty move, though.
Yeah.
There.
I guess.
Imagine like you're about to fight with a guy and you're like, I'm gonna use my karate, but just give me 1 second. You
I
gotta
gotta
do
go through
that
the
a little
steps.
bit. The guy's just gonna be like, whoa.
I just remember getting so furious, and I remember like telling my dad about like I don't ever want to go back there. We're gonna just do this dumb exercise again, and I'm done with it. And that's when I walked away from professional karate.
Man, just think you could have been somebody.
I could have been the Karate Kid.
You could have been the Karate Kid. You were a child and you knew karate. You could easily be the Karate Kid. Well, what could have been? What could have been? So you said you have a new segment for me tonight. I don't remember what it was called.
It's called Is It Worth It?
Is it
worth it? I have devised off of my own brain power.
Or lack thereof.
Got him. Shut up. So it's called Is It Worth It? And I picked, so you remember way back when, in the earlier seasons, I presented you with 2 terrible options.
Right. Right.
and you had to pick one of those two bad
I feel
options.
like one of them involved a plane. It was like,
and one was like
yeah.
you. It's like someone followed you everywhere you went when you went to the bathroom or something
Sure.
like something crazy like that. So this one it's not necessarily. So this one you get to pick.
Okay.
So say you're presented with two choices. One is to basically you can either do this or don't do this. But whatever you're getting is a very good thing, but it has a negative consequence. And so what I want you to decide, and we can talk through it. Maybe we can both look at these situations, and you kind of decide whether or not you're willing to pull the trigger on this. So it's called "Is It Worth It?" And I figured, maybe take a little break and we do something a little new, switch it up.
That's fine with me. Let's do this.
I don't know what music would fit this, but we don't have to have music. I guess. Just do that the whole time.
Yeah, the only music I have is like sexual music. So.
Sweet.
Okay,
so
I've also got Irish fantasy music.
no, absolutely not.
No,
Hard
okay.
pass. Anyway, so welcome to "Is It Worth It?"
Okay.
All right, we'll just jump right into this. Okay, first scenario.
Here, we'll play some calm background music. All right. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is the game
Why
we
is this-
are
Just
playing?
just cut this out. This is nonsense. So you will never ever get sick again.
Okay.
I'm talking flu,
Sure.
cold, virus.
That's like
whatever.
Abby. Abby doesn't get sick. I can't remember her ever being sick.
So you will never get sick again.
Okay.
But every single time you pee, you will scream uncontrollably for the duration of your pee. So I'm saying, like, no matter where you're going, in your house, whatever, and it only lasts, there's no pain associated with it.
Sure.
It's just when you start peeing, you
Start,
start
stop.
screaming.
Sure.
So would that be worth it? You will never get sick a day for the rest of your life, but think about how many times you pee during the day.
True.
And if you're peeing in a public place,
Especially
whatever,
if you're drinking the right amount of water that you should. Now, screaming, do you mean top of your lungs screaming?
top of your lungs, screaming uncontrollably until you finish peeing, and then it's like nothing happened. You just go about your day.
See, the
Doesn't apply to pooping.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Thank
peeing.
God. I think I would do that. I think it would be worth it to never be sick ever again.
I mean, think about the feeling you have when you're sick, right?
Yeah,
and like
that's what I'm
how
saying.
you can't breathe,
It's
you're
terrible.
miserable,
Being
the
sick is
headaches, the
terrible.
aches, especially like the flu.
Yeah.
I think it's worth getting a few weird stares for
Because
screaming.
I think what you could do is you'd have to be very kind of strategic with your like pee sessions. You'd have to be, it's like, okay, I got to go to the furthest bathroom away from my office or something, or you go at weird times, or you would just have to be a little more strategic with it, or you'd have to just kind of hold it in or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I mean, it's obviously it's not good, right?
But it would be
Screaming while you're peeing is not good.
It would be totally worth it. The best would be like, yeah, you're at a baseball stadium where like so many people are peeing at the same time, and you're just the
Just
guy that's
imagine
screaming.
in that row of urinals or stalls wherever you decide to do your business. You're just imagine being a bystander.
Now people would probably have
And you just-
concern.
you
They
just
think
start
you're.
being like,
They might think you're hurt.
well, yeah. I mean, then you just have to explain to them that's just my thing.
No, this is just something I do.
Yeah, you just scream. Okay, so you're willing to.
I'm-
That's
I'm
worth
willing.
it.
Yeah, that's
that's
totally
worth
worth
it
it.
to
That's
never
worth
be
it.
sick again.
That's worth
Okay,
it for
that's
me.
good. That's the discussion we want to have.
Thumbs
here.
up.
Okay. This one I kind of like. You will always stay employed. Now I'm not saying it's not the best job in the world.
Okay.
It's not the worst job in the world.
Sure.
You will, and maybe it is the best job, but you will never not have a job. So if your job suddenly ends, you will somehow
Full
stumble.
stability.
You will somehow stumble into a new job. I'm talking fiscal stability.
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 Sorry. But every meeting you ever participate in
no.
for the rest of your life,
Oh no.
you immediately get a really heavy Jamaican accent
Oh no, man.
that only lasts for the duration of the meeting. So like it's all fun and games. Like you're talking, and be like, "Yeah, Jim, I got this report." So you step in, you'd be like,
Oh, here's my
"Welcome, my
presentation,
child,
man."
to the meeting. Who's taking the minutes now?"
And like I assume like you're you, so you're just a white guy.
You're just whatever. You just
Or whatever
whoever
you
you
are.
are in this current moment. You just get the thickest, heaviest, like Barbados type. Like I'm the captain now. Look at
Especially-
me. Look at this PowerPoint bill.
See, the problem is like here in 2019, like that's
This,
like
this is my meeting now.
that's like extremely offensive.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
But here's the thing: is you could never be
but
fired.
The thing is,
I mean, that's probably you could be fired.
You
but
can be fired,
Yeah.
but you will somehow stumble into a new job. But what I'm saying is like that stability, that to be gainfully employed,
yeah.
is that worth every single meeting, the HR meetings, the whatever, just heavy Jamaican accent.
Everyone would just hate me all the
Cool
time.
Lennons. Like,
it'd be like-
would. Well, because it would, and the thing is, you can't just turn this
Especially
back on.
Especially if there's like a black person in the meeting.
You can't turn this back on either.
God.
Because like, so people would be like, was that a joke? And then you are unable to do that accent again until you have another
Until the
meeting.
meeting is officially
And
over.
think about it. If you're stuck in a 3-hour meeting and you have to present, imagine that in front of the CEO.
Wow. Or like your yearly review for like
Yeah.
bonuses and stuff. So even like one-on-ones with like your supervisor or something.
Yes.
Anything that is qualified as
that's
a meeting.
officially a meeting.
Something that's like scheduled.
Not just a conference. Yeah, it has to be a scheduled meeting.
Now, for me in my current industry, that would even be worse because I have to meet with like authors, and that is considered a meeting. And so authors will sometimes come to like the
Yeah,
office,
100%.
and I'll have to sit with them.
So
Do I have
that's-
to do it on the phone too? And if I have like a
If
phone
it's
meeting,
if it's a teleconference, yeah.
oh my god!
I'm saying like every official meeting. I don't know how, like, this is obviously an extraordinary situation.
sure, if it's like on the calendar, let's say if it's
But-
scheduled.
That's the trade-off, man. You will never not have a job, but you are going to spend parts of that job doing a very non-PC Jamaican accent.
I'm gonna have to go with.
No, it's not worth it.
Gonna have to go with it's
That's
not
fine.
worth it, man. Because I just think everybody would hate me. I think everybody would be like, "This is a racist piece of shit." So I don't think I can do that one.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Okay. So, not worth it. All right, so I got a bunch of these. I was just making
No,
up left,
keep
right.
keep firing them away.
This one's pretty simple. You will never hit traffic ever in your life,
Ooh.
but you will somehow arrive late to everything you go
Oh
to.
God, no, I can't. It's not. You know me.
It's not worth
You
it.
know
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I can't be late. It
Think
is
about
like
it, no matter when you leave, no traffic at any point in time, but you're
can't.
always going to be a little late to every appointment.
I can't because I become like physically ill if I'm gonna be late. It is such a pet peeve of mine. So no, it would not be worth it for me whatsoever. Even though the problem is I hate traffic so much.
Oh, me too,
I hate
dude.
it so much.
I honestly think I would definitely take that deal because I cannot
yeah.
deal with traffic sometimes, and I'm fine being. Well, no, I don't like being late either.
but imagine, like-
if it's 5 or 10 minutes late to everything in my life, if I can never have to sit in traffic,
But
I'm
like think
fine
about
with
it
that.
like this. Let's say it's your job and like your boss keeps
Oh.
noticing you're coming in late every day and he says literally Salty Dalton, like
That's true.
You need to show up on time, especially with like the type of work that you do. It's like, hey, like show up on time. And you can't do it. You physically cannot show up on time.
You know what? I mean, I didn't think about the job portion of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would screw me over.
Or like think about
Damn.
this also. Let's say you're getting a new job, an interview for a new job.
5
You
minutes
show
late
up
to the
late to an
interview.
interview, they automatically basically count you out. If you're late
Yeah,
to an interview,
dude, I think you're right. I don't think it's worth it. I don't.
a girl showed up late to an interview at my company, and Ricky was the one to interview her. She showed up like 20 minutes late, and he was like, you can't do this." He made her cry. She cried, and he felt terrible. But you can't show up, or if you're gonna show up late, you got to call. Maybe that would be the thing you would do. You would have to cover it up so often by calling ahead or emailing ahead, being like, "Hey, I'm running a little late."
And you can't just adjust your hours, right? To
Yeah,
match
yeah,
it. I
you
could be
can't
like,
just get up 5
well, my
minutes
hours are
earlier.
actually like 9:10. The thing is, you will always be late. Yeah, no, I don't think it's worth it either. You've talked me
Yeah.
out of it.
Okay.
Okay. This one is you will find $20 every single day for the rest of your life,
Wow.
but you will lose one item for 24 hours every day. So you find the 20,
Yeah.
and then a random item that you own will go missing for 24 hours.
So you'd be willing.
So you're rolling the dice,
You're taking
right?
a chance.
What
It
if
could be
your-
your phone. It
your
could be
car
your car
keys,
keys.
your
actual
wallet.
car.
Yeah, your car, something that you physically own, that you have bought and that someone gave to you, whatever you actually own
Wow.
could disappear. Houses are not included because most of the time banks
Yeah.
own it, unless you happen to own your house, in which
Yeah.
case, congratulations, but that's part of the
It'd
pot.
be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
But you get a guaranteed $20 every day.
I mean, I feel like you kind of have to go with the
You would
$20
have
a
to
day.
go with that.
Because what is that?
Because you-
20? What's 20 times 50? Not 50. 20 times 365. I am Rain Man, but I can't even do that. Is it like 200,000 something?
Let's see here. I
Or like 100,000.
You know what I hate is the app you need is right in front of your face, and you look everywhere but. So 365.
365 times $20, $7,300
Non-taxed. You're getting
every year.
You're getting
Additional,
almost $7,500.
and 20 a day. Because like think about this is like. 20 a day covers like a couple meals too. So like, you would basically never have to like buy food again.
I would do it 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be in a huge bind, right? You come back and your bed's gone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come back till the day after. But what I'm saying is like $20 every day. That starts to add up.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're in agreement.
Okay.
I both do that. Think about that. That's $1,000 a work week. Not $1,000, $100.
$100 work week.
$1,000 work
basically, it's $100 a week, but you will lose 7 items for a day each.
Oh, so it'd be $140. I was thinking of a work week, 5 days, 7 times 20. So $140 a week, but you lose 7 items.
And they're only gone. They come back after 24 hours.
I think it's worth it.
Sometimes it's going to be something really crucial.
Now the funny thing would be is if you can't tell which item is just part of this existence or what item you actually lost. So you like keep expecting for your keys to turn up and they just don't turn up because that wasn't even part of the game.
That'd be part of it, yeah. Because then you'd be like, okay, well, if they were in my pocket, they'll be in my pocket 24 hours later.
Yeah.
But like
they don't.
That would be interesting.
There's something else. Or like your dog goes missing.
I think I'd do it. You can't turn down that.
Same. No, I'm with you.
That cash flow.
I'm with you.
Okay. I like this one. I was just like, I literally had a time during my lunch break, and I was just coming up with these left.
No, that's fine.
You will wake up refreshed and fully rested, no matter what time you go to bed. You can get 1 hour of sleep. Your body is fully energized. You feel like you just slept.
That'd be unbelievable.
18 hours.
Think of how the workouts you could get.
Dude, imagine that. I mean, you could literally do whatever you wanted until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Fall asleep, wake up at 6. Your body is fully rested, ready to go. But you have a 50% chance of horrific nightmares, like night terror level, every time you fall asleep. You have basically, there is a 50% chance that if you fall asleep, no matter for how long, God forbid you go to sleep for 8 hours, no matter how long, it is a horrific hellscape of a nightmare. Would you do it? But the 50% chance, statistically speaking, it's pretty shitty because like it's a toss up. You could possibly go 5 days without one.
I think I got to do it, man.
I would do it.
I got to do it because all you got to do is shorten your sleep to like 30 minutes or something like that.
I'd probably say, yeah. I mean,
how about the minimum is an hour?
1 hour sleep.
You have to at least sleep an hour. So at the very least, you will be getting 50% chance of getting absolute night terrors for an hour every night.
Yeah.
I think that's worth it to be able to
feel fully rested.
Fully rested.
God. Because like then you would never be so pissed about waking up for work because you'd just be like, I feel like good. I just got back from vacation,
dude. Because I've been waking up at 3 times a week, and like
it's tough, man.
It's some mornings I'm like, okay, I feel okay. There's some mornings where I just feel like absolute death when I'm walking down the stairs to get ready. Yeah. It's not fun. Okay.
So that's worth it. I think that's worth it. I'd probably take that at least for a while.
It's worth it.
You will never sneeze 364 days out of the year. But in return, you spend the last day sneezing every 5 minutes for 24 hours. I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do it either.
I sneeze a lot because if I look at light after being in a dark room, I'll sneeze.
That's weird.
It's actually a real thing. And the actual acronym for it's a genetic thing. It's called ACHOO.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. It's not. I don't have it terribly, but like I don't sneeze enough for me to really think about that as an option.
What I always think about is after I sneeze, there's always like a certain smell that my nose immediately smells. It's not like a bad smell. It's just a very specific smell that after I like clear out everything, I guess that it like there's just some sort of smell that like the world has that my nose smells and it goes away after like 10 seconds. No, I'm definitely fine with sneezing.
I don't think I sneeze an abnormal amount. Maybe someone who's
Abby
plagued
sneezes
with this.
a lot,
Does she?
Especially when she comes out of the shower. She sneezes. I think it's all like the moisture in the air or something. She sneezes like maybe 15 to 20 times.
Really?
Not in a row, but it'll be like every 30 seconds, and then I'll get really annoyed.
Okay, all right, so not worth it. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it. So this one is interesting. Magically, for some reason, you only have to go to the bathroom 2 times a year. I'm talking number 1 and number 2. Doesn't matter. You will only have to go 2 times a year. Wow. But you can't pick when you go, and they happen instantly without warning. AKA, you shit your pants.
Yeah,
or you pee your pants.
No chance.
No chance?
No chance.
Ben, you will never have to go to the bathroom.
I know. But think about this. I mean
you
would spend a year being terrified about it happening at any point. Like any
Wake
sort
up
of rumble. Because here's the thing with me. So ever since I had those kidney stones, now any sort of stomach ache, because the doctors tells you, they're like, you're going to have them again.
Yes.
It's just a ticking time bomb. Once you have them, you're more likely to have them again. So any sort of little like murmur in my stomach or something like that, I'll be like, this is it. They're coming back. And, that's what it would be like in the scenarios. Any sort of like little like tickle in your pickle or whatever, you'd be like, oh God, it's gonna happen. So you'd spend the rest of the year terrified.
Now this one's kind of hard because I guess
now if you got those 2 out of the way fairly early in the year, then you're like, I'm
think
set.
about you would never miss a critical moment ever. You would never like.
Are you missing a lot of critical moments?
No, I know, but because if you're on car trips, imagine that, maybe
But I'm also a camel. I can hold them in forever.
During a movie, a lot of people have to run to the bathroom. They use that app, Run Pee.
I hate that though. Oh, you shouldn't have to go to the bathroom.
I will hold it unless I'm about to die. But there's just there's a lot of times where you go to the bathroom where it's inconvenient.
But what if it's your wedding, and suddenly you your pants?
That's part of the risk you run, dude.
I would be terrified at any major event that I have throughout the year.
Think about how many minutes are in a day. Multiply that times 365. The chance of that happening is so low. But once it does, there's only one left. But I'm saying is, you could be in the middle of a meeting and
it happens. You're talking in a Jamaican accent. You shit your pants.
Welcome, my child.
I just shit my pants, man. That's the thing. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me.
Okay,
I think.
That's right. I thought it might be enticing a little bit. Okay.
No.
All right. So there's only a few left. This one is you receive $1,000 every day.
Okay.
If you accept it, someone else randomly selected in the world is given only your photo and offered $200,000 to find you and kill you.
Wait, go over that again.
So, and maybe it needs to be a little bit more. Let's say you get $100,000.
Okay, I get $100,000.
Someone basically every day, a message pops up on your computer. It says, "Do you want $100,000?"
Yeah.
If you click yes, someone else randomly out of 7 billion people is selected and offered $200,000 and given your photo, and the instructions are just to kill you. So they don't know your name. They only have your photo, but they're given $200,000.
How much time are they given to try to find and kill me?
Their whole life. So every time you accept it, you increase the amount of people in the world. But there are 7 billion people. But the odds are, maybe your next door neighbor who you parked in a spot gets that notice.
It's $100,000.
They don't have your name, right? And
it could be like a guy in like the slums of India.
Yeah.
And he just gets a text.
They just get not even text. Someone just hand him a picture and be like, "This is who you need to look for and kill." And here's $200,000 to get that to happen.
The problem is with technology being as good as it is.
That was Pete's
so I would
issue
basically
with this.
have to take off all my social media accounts. I would take them all down, scrub myself from the internet as a whole.
Yeah,
because how else would anybody find me? The problem is what if it's like your next door neighbor gets that text? And
I'm not saying you
anybody.
can't fight back and you can't run away, but every time
you'd always be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life.
You would, because
your rich life. But then again, you do it enough times, you set yourself up in a fortress. You hire a full-time security team.
What
and
if
you're
one of the
like,
security members gets that?
That's true.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's true.
So basically, every time you accept $100,000, so you don't have to do it every day. But every time you do that, someone else in the world is given instructions to kill you. Now, that may not be effective. What if they give it to a 4-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, here's a picture. Here's $200,000 for a 4-year-old.
Dada.
Go kill him. But, I think I'd probably be willing to roll the dice. For $100,000?
It's an intriguing possibility. Like I said, I think the way I'd have to do it.
You're screwed if somebody competent gets your photo and $200,000 because that's the agreement. Is they have to agree too. They have to be
Sure.
like, under penalty of death, I will find this man.
Do they get the money only if they kill me, or do they
No,
get
they
the
get
money
the money
straight up?
to help finance their.
Wow. That's the thing, is they could easily hire like a billion like private investigators to come find me, and then they take me
They
down.
could. I mean,
I think here's what I would do. I would immediately hit it 10 times, get to like around $1 million.
And you got 10 people like this
Exactly.
looking for you.
But right off the bat, I would go buy a very remote house, like, and set it up with security cameras
On
left
an
and
island
right.
somewhere, yeah.
So like stock up.
What if your wife gets pulled?
That's the thing, though. Is like, do they still have like a choice in the matter?
Well,
Because she would just hit no, or would she hit yes? I don't know.
that's just it. I mean, I assume I haven't really fleshed it out. I would assume to get around that would be if they hit no, it goes immediately to the next person until someone agrees. Basically, you will not.
Which I'm sure that somebody would.
You can't accept the money without having someone else willing to kill you.
So I would definitely I'd roll the dice here.
Sun went down, maybe.
Sun went down. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Sun's going down, big guy. Like
All right, we
I
got
said,
two left here.
All right,
For is
we'll run
it
through
worth
these.
it? You have the power to turn invisible whenever you want, but it cancels out when you get aroused. So basically, at any point, if you get a remote feeling of arousal, if you
She
think
definitely can't go invisible and like spy on like a hot chick like getting undressed, because then like you'd immediately appear and she'd be like, "What the hell?"
yeah, but think about like any other time if you're going.
Yeah. So as long as you don't use your power for sexual related things,
I
you
mean,
should
not
be
even that.
okay.
As long as you have self control, because like you could still think about something sexual unrelated to what you're doing,
And it would-
invisible,
and it
and
would-
you'd disappear.
Yeah, I think I'd be able to pull this off. I think as long you'd have to really train. Now I know us as guys, as animals, these thoughts will creep into your mind. I would just, I think I would. What I would do is I would come up with some sort of system in my head to distract myself fully, to make sure I'm only concentrating on something that's like on the complete other end of the spectrum of anything sexual.
Okay, no,
I just
I
like
mean,
I would keep
that's
being
just-
like football, like in my head, and like I would like keep repeating that so I don't lose any other thoughts.
I think I think to make it a little harder, what about if the only way you turn invisible is if you got completely naked? Would that change it? And then the second you even had any remote thought of arousal for anything,
That's some high stakes.
that's high stakes. So like you'd have to be so focused because.
Well, you also think about this.
Even if your mind wanders while
Yeah.
you're invisible, and you think about like, oh, that Sports Illustrated thing. Oh no.
Or like your
You're naked
nether
in the grocery
regions like
store.
brush up against something and you're just like, oh, yep, there it goes. Now think about this though. It's like, what practically would you really use the invisibility for?
No idea. You could.
That's the thing, is
You
I
could
don't
rob
know.
a bank, maybe. I don't know.
See, I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, I still think I'd be able to risk it.
Okay. All right. The last one
Last
for
one.
is it worth it is you can eat whatever you want without gaining weight,
For godsend.
but you would have incredibly painful diarrhea
Oh no.
once per day. It doesn't happen instantly. It's just
Sure.
when you feel it, you go to the bathroom. It is super painful.
Oh god.
But you can eat whatever you want. You never gain weight.
yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
I'm
That
doing
was
it.
so fast.
I think
you were ready to hit
Yeah,
that button.
because just imagine all the foods that are so bad for you but taste so good. You can eat anything you want in that realm. Because I think what you would do is you would just be able, at some point, your body would have to be able to kind of train itself to accept this feeling, or what you could do is just take a bunch of pain pills right before, or just drink right before, or something. I don't know. You'd find coping ways, but in order
it would happen once a day. It's a regular thing, which means you can't like prepare for the week. It's
Sure,
just like
sure,
if
sure.
you want to get this thing over with first thing in the morning, roll out of bed,
I'm rolling the
hit
dice.
the toilet. Yeah.
I'm rolling the dice with that.
Okay.
Because just think of all the amazing things you'd love to just eat all day.
I would literally spend an entire day inside of a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
Eating
especially now they got the new Reese's donut
nothing but
that they made.
donuts.
That they made them or Dunkin' Donuts. One of them made it. Oh man, now I'm getting hungry. Time.
I think I actually put in pizza for us.
Oh, very nice.
A fan favorite segment.
It
Welcome
is.
to Fishbowl,
It is.
ladies and gentlemen.
It is time for the segment where we pitch terrible or useful inventions or investment opportunity. I'll go first this time. You went first last time.
I did.
You did. You did. So let me let the bubbles finish up.
Sorry, I
So
forgot we were
just
in a fish
warning
tank.
you, this one's a little strange.
All right, well, welcome to Fishbowl.
Thank you.
We are ready to hear your investment opportunity. Hit us with it right now.
Yeah, no problem. So, you think about how popular
Get out.
that these cameras are getting outside your house. The Ring is huge. I mean, over 2 million homes across the country have a Ring installed in their house.
Do you look that up?
Don't know that. I assume so, though. Home security is just becoming a real big issue, and it's something that you want to have on your phone and have on your iPads and have access to at all times. So you can see what's happening outside your house. What about what's happening under your house? We're talking about the Sub Ring. Here's how it works. You think of your Ring camera that's on your outside of your door. Think of that camera, but it goes underground. So now you can see everything that is happening underneath your house. Is there a gang of moles preparing to come up through your house? How many spiders are underneath? Is there a guy that escaped from prison by digging a hole and now is going to appear in your living room? The Sub Ring. I mean, you got to be intrigued.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I'm more intrigued about how you arrived at this conclusion, right?
Sure.
And so my whole thing, right,
Yeah.
is if I were to stick my head in the ground right now, right,
Yeah.
and I open my eyes,
Uh-huh.
it's not like a pool, right? I would just see
it's not like
more
a pool.
dirt.
Yeah,
so
but this
is
sees
the
through the
main
dirt a bit.
It-
It's like an X-ray system, but for
Okay.
underground. So it scans the area, goes like beep, 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 beep.
Okay,
Beep, beep, beep,
okay,
beep,
so
beep.
that's
And
different.
and it shows you the different objects that are underneath. Like, oh, there's a mouse. There's
Okay, so it's not like an actual video camera.
In a way it is, and in a way it isn't. The Sub Ring.
So it's more of a
Bringing the
subterranean
Sub Ring.
radar
Bringing your
system.
home security underneath Sub Ring.
Maybe protected from all angles.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, we'll work on it.
Um,
We'll workshop it.
It's interesting. So it'd mostly be to like sort of figure out if you have a pest problem.
Pest problem, or again, somebody digs out of a prison
So
nearby.
what's the installation look like on this thing?
The installation?
Yeah. Do you
Um,
just... Because I imagine you have to go right through the middle of the house, right?
Yeah, that would be a good place. So what you got to do is you just got to find a stud and
A stud in the ground?
Yeah, well, that's how studs work. They go into the ground.
Right. So I'm just curious here. Are we planting this thing under the ground, or are we putting it on
So you
the
gotta-
ground of the house?
So you got to start with it on the ground of the house, and then you got to push it through the floor. And then the camera. So you cut out a little hole. Here's what happens.
Push it through the
You
floor.
cut out a little hole that's the size of the Ring camera in your floor. You put the camera down in there. You seal the hole back over, and then you've got the camera doing its
What's
thing.
the battery life like? Do you have to charge this thing?
You do.
Is it solar powered?
In fact, my Ring has 2% battery right now, so who knows when that package is arriving. It's not solar powered because it's underground, silly. No, you do have to charge it twice a year. So twice a year you have to dig it up, plug it in for like 10 hours, then you can put it back underneath, seal it back over. So you get pretty used to the routine.
Okay.
But you're now fully secured on all sides.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it'd be good to know about the activity underneath your house. Sure.
It is. It is. So probably like a 4-star idea there. You think?
I'm feeling pretty generous today, so let's call it a 2, like a solid 2. 2.
Yeah, and a half. Though.
2. Probably on.
I mean,
Now.
aren't you curious what's going on underneath your house? I mean, we're sitting in the basement right now. What's happening underneath this carpet? You have no idea.
Well, there's concrete.
You have. Okay, what's happening underneath the concrete? There could be bodies under there. It could be a great way to find bodies.
It could be a great way to find bodies.
Indian
but
burial grounds.
After it
Gold.
finds, can
Find gold.
Can it find gold?
You can find gold. It's a gold detector as well.
I'll give you 2.5.
Okay.
2.5 stars.
Yeah, I understood. 4.
Not out of 4, out of 5.
Okay, well, what
Listen,
do you got?
I'm going to bring forth an issue that hits home to all of you fishes out there, sitting at home watching this on your fish TVs. We need to save the environment. We're taking a lot of good steps. We're recycling more. We're getting rid of straws in restaurants, and we're trying to save the environment. Now, we shouldn't just save the environment from the beaches. You know, we shouldn't just try to end global warming from picking up trash. We need to bring this into all areas of our life. I'm introducing to you for the first time Life Clip, the first recycled, reusable paper clip that are biodegradable. Listen, if you've been in a workplace, you know paper clips go everywhere. People throw them away. They play with them. They throw them across the room. They use them as collar stays. Paper clips are a huge waste product. And guess what? They don't get recycled. They end up in a landfill somewhere. It's time to stop the abuse and start using Life Clip.
Okay. Well, this is a very practical invention.
Pretty good, right?
I mean, it's good, but it kind of goes against the crux of this game, which is not to actually be helpful for the world.
Oh, man. Oh, no! I got on the wall!
You did?
There's pizza.
Well, Salty Dalton on his brand new painted walls just got some pizza on it.
It's on my pants, too.
Yeah, well,
How did that happen?
I don't know how it went sideways against the
Do
wall.
you want the other Corona?
Yeah, in a sec. I'm thinking here. So it obviously. Well, here's the thing. Is this really a problem? Do you think there are a lot of paper clips that are?
Dude, okay.
Issue?
And now
I don't remember the last paper clip I've used.
Until you start looking at it, dude, there are like office cabinets chock full of paper clips. If people ever put stuff together and they throw the papers away and stuff like that, they don't actually recycle the paper clips.
Right.
You can put them in the recycling bin, but they won't recycle them. So it's a huge waste, dude.
Okay.
And think about this. You collect all the paper clips, and like those biodegradable Corona started making those 6-packs that are biodegradable and actually
did see
fish
that.
food.
Yeah.
So collect all your paper clips from the day, go to the local pond, toss them in, feed the fishes.
They'll be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. But they're very durable. They're very strong. But as soon as they hit water, they dissolve.
So the thing is I don't really care about the environment, so I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 stars. I think this is a great idea,
What?
tree hugger. But I don't think it's really a big of an issue. I think in my eyes, in my daily life, I probably use 0 paper clips.
I probably at least go through a pack
We live in a
month.
digital world. I don't want to put my money towards something ancient like paper clips. I want us focused on the future, and that's my campaign. So 2 stars. 2 stars for you on that one. Tough luck there, buddy. I mean, you came in with something, and it just didn't really work out for you. And that's okay, but next time. Next time.
Roland, action.
What?
Maybe you'll hit it
You
out
would
of the
know a
park.
good idea if it literally smacked you in the face. If it took a Turner and hit you over the head with it.
The old Turner. This is Pilot House.
Are you racist? Is that what's it?
racist against paper clips?
Against people. Against me?
Against you? I'm not racist against you or anybody. I should have prefaced that. Now maybe you'll have a chance to redeem yourself here. This is the segment called Pilot House, where we pitch TV show pilots. Now, since I went first last segment, I'll let you lead it here after that terrible, weird environment, invention where it's like, who cares? So let's hear what you have in store for us for your TV show idea. We have crowned some pretty great shows on this show. Again, we've had shows picked up by Hulu, Netflix, HBO.
We're in talks right now with ESPN 8 The Ocho for the
Yes.
disasters.
Oh yeah, that was a great one. we come up. I mean, I'd have to say, and I'd be interested in what the audience thinks. That I feel like our Pilot House ideas are maybe better than our Fishbowl ideas. Now we've been doing Fishbowl longer.
Well, speak for yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, you're coming up with, this is a biodegradable ladder. So every time we use a ladder, the fish can eat it. And it's like, all right,
Yeah,
this
first
is
of
really
all,
interesting.
that's impractical.
Yeah, this is real. This is a biodegradable paper plate that now fish can eat this paper plate and eat the food that I ate, and we can all live together in harmony. It's just ridiculous. So what's your TV idea?
It's actually go yourself, Ben.
That'd be a great show.
So my TV idea.
Yeah, let's hear it. Oh, is your TV idea? Let's see how many fish we can save this week.
I swear to God, Lord grant me the strength to to reach over here and just strangle you out with your own mic.
You couldn't reach as far.
Was that? You throwing a short joke on top of that?
No, I can't reach either. I can only reach the laptop. I can barely touch my toes. All right, what do you got?
That's fine because you don't need to touch your toes in this situation.
I mean, I could. I could try harder.
So mine's actually called "Do You Work Here?" So basically,
Good name.
these are Contestants are given uniforms for local shops in whatever area they choose to start filming.
Okay.
And that contestant has to walk in and start working there and start just trying to act like an employee
Okay.
for as long as possible. I'm talking like help people find their stuff, try to take over the register.
So this would be different than, not even different than like your standard Walmart or Target, where
Yeah.
nobody actually knows how to work in these places already.
Yes. And basically you have to
That was
try.
a burn.
You have to. Yeah, you really stuck it to the
Yeah.
corporate
There you
world
go,
there.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Raise the minimum wage. That's what I'd say.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I forget what they did.
So, and you'd have to try to make it through the day.
See how
So
long you can last. yeah.
Basically, if you can make it the whole workday, so like you walk in, maybe the shift.
Do the
man-
other employees know that you're part of the game show?
No idea.
Okay,
So
cool.
the other employees either just like
Oh, this is a new guy.
yeah. So you could get bad luck of the draw where you have to walk into a small family-owned store, right, and be like, "Hey, I'm Chet. I'm starting here today," and so you have to try to. You have to try.
Son, you're not a Holloway. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
doing here. I've never seen you before in my life.
So you have to try to like avoid getting fired or someone asks the question, "Do you work here?" You
What's
know?
the prize? Is there a prize if you're able to last a whole day?
Yeah, so you'll do it at a couple different stores, and you weed people out. You
Yeah.
know, if you don't make it a certain length, or the person who didn't make it the longest leaves. I think the prize is actually something like
You get a job there.
you get a dream internship or
Ooh,
something
okay.
somewhere, and so you got a bunch of people competing for
Yeah.
this particular internship. So it changes each season.
I like that idea. It picks like a very prestigious company or
Paid
like
internship,
CEO.
yeah.
It's like, oh, you get to go work for Gary Vee, or you get to go work for Mark Cuban or something like that, like an internship for like a big name person. I like that. Okay.
And so they have to do whatever they can to act like they work there.
Wow. So, and what's the show called? Do You Work Here?
Do you work here?
Do you work here? Wow, this is good. That's good. My TV show pilot is pretty simple. I'll tell you the name of it. Nursing Home Live.
What?
So
Hold on. Oh, no.
we have a lot of shows that are like live feeds of certain things, like sports, or there's reality shows like Big Brother, or live PD, where they follow like cops and stuff like that. But there's one territory that I feel like is untapped in the reality live space, and that's nursing homes. And here's what you do. You find like a very big, popular nursing home facility.
Like a Sunny Hills retirement
You
home.
set up cameras everywhere. Now, except for like obviously like the bathrooms and stuff, but like you set
That's
up cameras
pay-per-view.
everywhere. Yeah. And you just let it go.
You know-
You run it on like Sunday nights from 8 to midnight, or not from 8 to midnight, because if it's live,
No, it's
they're
a-
all asleep at that point.
No, it just runs 24/7.
Yeah, it runs 24/7.
It's a sole channel dedicated
Yes.
to nothing but this feed, and it has like ads that'll scroll across maybe.
And then like every week they'll put together a best of the week, and you can watch that, and it'll be the best moments from that previous week. But otherwise, you're just tuning in, because here's the thing. There's some crazy shit that goes down in nursing homes. I mean, we're talking about fights. We're talking about just like people taking their pants off. And obviously some of it's sad, but some of it can also be hilarious.
So I initially really didn't like this idea. One,
Sure.
because it's a dumb fucking idea. But then the
interesting.
more I thought about it, is it's going to get like almost like a. It's not like a reality show, like not like The Hills and stuff like that.
Right.
This is like or like Big Brother, where it's just like really obviously staged.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the Truman Show. So you're going to
Yeah.
start to form a bond with these people. It's going to take a little while to get off the ground.
Miss Maisel's drinking her Jello again.
They're going to have a cult following.
Yeah, you're gonna
And,
have
like-
like your favorite characters, like, oh, there's
And if-
Harvey Mizell, he's a big tough cookie, and then like, oh, there's Susie. I hope she and what's his face get together this week, and like you'll be following the lives of people,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, another
You're going to
one.
have like breakdowns, analysis, like
and-
a show after the show.
exactly. There's definitely
And-
a show about the show. There's a lot of podcasts about the
And
show.
the thing is, they have no idea that they're being filmed.
Absolutely
that's
none.
just it. You have to keep them absolutely isolated from
yeah,
this.
the only person that knows is the head of the nursing home, because she
Yes.
had to agree to it, or he. But the employees, none of those people know. What happens is when they sign their contracts, it's a very tiny, minuscule line item that's just mixed in with everything else.
Yep.
And it says like, you agree to be filmed and put on TV 24/7, and then like they don't even read it, and they sign that.
I mean, think about it. You're
and
going
they
to have
can't
like,
sue.
you're going to have basically like, fantasy leagues made for these people.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like it's just like the following
Like
you're
who's
gonna
gonna
get.
win the betting that you're gonna do shuffleboard this week? Who's
Oh
gonna
my
be winning
gosh! Yeah.
shuffleboard?
Oh my god!
Live
actually,
betting on
you know
this
what?
episode.
It actually is not half bad.
It's not bad.
It's strange enough where
Yeah.
people are probably going to
People would watch this.
They'll click onto it and they'll be live streaming on the computer too. So
It'll be one of those things you first get onto it and you're like, oh, this is so stupid, and then
you got to be able to like. It's got to like the camera people are always working because they always have
Yeah.
to pan to something that's happening.
there's a
right?
camera switch operator that's at the home base with all the cameras, and they're
And
the
if
ones
everyone
switching
is
everything
truly asleep, it'll
Yeah.
just like play ads or
up.
something.
ads or the best moments of the day,
Or the best
baby.
moments of the day, and
Yeah.
then like, because it'll be like, but the second it detects movement or something, and
Picks
like
right
the
back
camera
up.
people,
And then there's a host. He's like, now we go back live here to
Yeah.
4-3. And
you know
it
what?
looks
I
like-
actually like that. I think it's weird,
Yeah.
but I think it could really like snowball into something really insane.
and you got to make sure there's a lot
Like
of
dedicated people to
good
this.
grumpy characters there at this nursing home.
Maybe like weed out some of the
Maybe like
overly racist
maybe like
ones.
a British nursing home. So you have a lot of like old, like sarcastic British people that are in the nursing home, possibly.
That wouldn't be bad.
Or
I
there
think it
could
should
be
be a mix.
spin-offs. There could be spin-offs. There could be, okay, this is the British version on BBC. Here's the American version here on CBS.
Yes, I think that's the way you need to
can,
go.
You can, so next thing you know, you'll have one in like every country, and we can franchise
They
it and make
become
millions.
like national icons with having no idea,
No
and maybe. And think about how bad it'd be when like one of them passes on.
Yeah, there'll
like,
be like a big, there'll be
National Day of Mourning.
and there'll be an in memorial at the that night that will play on the channel, and it'll show like all their best moments on the show and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's wild. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm on board.
Okay.
We could probably make money off this.
I appreciate that.
I'm all right with that.
All right.
Do it! Just do it! I don't think so. Just do it!
Time for the segment where we inform you some things that you should do, some things you should not do in regards to certain scenarios. We will start with substitute teaching. Now, we know we got a lot of teachers out there that listen to this show.
Yeah,
Maybe occasionally you're called in to sub.
you've had it. We've all had substitute teachers in our life.
We
Some
have.
of them better than others.
Definitely. There's definitely different kinds of substitutes. There's the I don't care, do what you want substitutes. There's the I'm a teacher too substitutes. There's the hot substitute that definitely happened. There was one in like middle school, and then we all found out she was the daughter of the teacher. And we like
Sorry, the music was just like blasting. In my
and we found out she was the daughter of the teacher, and we were like, oh my god, like we were like freaking out. So there's a lot of different types of substitutes. Now you're the substitute. Let's think about some things you should do and some things you should not do. Let's start with do's.
Well, first thing is like, what I never actually truly got is like, you always get really happy when there's a substitute, and sometimes there's bad substitutes. But some of those people that just straight up like will crumple up a piece of paper and throw it at the substitute and go, you're not gonna do f***ing anything about this.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you're my bitch now.
Yeah, when the anarchy situation.
It's insane. Like, some people can just walk over them, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
I need the bottle top opener thing, whatever
bottle-
it's
the
called.
bottle top
Can I get the
opener?
Turner, please?
God. Oh, God.
No, you're right. There's some people. There was always some kids that there was a substitute. They were just like, I'm not even gonna act like a human being anymore. Like, you're my bitch now.
It's insane. It's like prison.
Yeah,
It-
prison rules
And
apply.
it makes no sense because
Yeah.
they're not getting
Thank you.
anything out of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're just treating another person like,
Like
dirt,
terrible.
And they can still try to report your thing. But some of them, especially, like, you'd have some substitutes that maybe couldn't communicate well.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a language barrier. But, like, people would tear them to pieces. And I'm just like,
They'd have to call security.
it's the same people that go into a fresh new porta potty and absolutely destroy it. As I've
Yeah.
never been in a clean porta potty
Yep.
because someone always smears shit on the walls as some goddamn joke.
We all stop becoming humans and become
It's
animals.
insane, but there's always that one person. But
So what if
anyway.
you're the substitute teacher? What should you do?
Oh, okay. So
Right off
from
the bat.
okay,
Let's go from the teacher
first,
perspective.
First thing you do, you gotta establish
You
dominance.
gotta find the biggest kid in class and punch him in the face.
Pretty
just
much.
just like in prison.
You punch him in the face with.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Tim? Hey, Tim. Boom! Pop him in the face and be like,
Stand over him.
I'm the
Yeah.
motherfucking daddy now.
Look at me, Tim. Look at me, bitch.
I'm
And
the captain.
Tim's like the nicest guy in the world. He's
Yeah.
just like sobbing. Why are you doing this?
Tim's a gentle giant.
But you have to establish dominance, and so
Yeah.
you walk in, you're peppy, you're happy, and stuff like this.
Yep.
But the first time that you get resistance, you drop the iron hammer, and you don't have to. It's a one and done situation. If you make an example out of that first thing, and then just go back to being the cool substitute, you
Yeah.
get all the respect in the world. But they're gonna test you. All right, walking in that
Sure.
door, it is a battle zone. They're gonna poke and prod at you, so you just got to make sure that the first resistance you encounter, you crush it without hesitation.
Got it.
I'm talking like they make a snarky comment, and you'd be like, "Oh man, that was really funny. Can you come up to the front for a second?" And then you lean in real close and you say, "This is how I saw it go down.
Yeah.
You were acting rude, and you exposed yourself to me, the teacher." I'm writing you this slip. You're going to the principal's office, and I swear to fucking God, if I hear
I'm gonna kill your
another
parents.
word out of you the
Yeah.
rest of the day, game over, my
Yeah.
friend. And then you laugh and be like, "All
Yeah.
right, go on."
You
and
got to do that to the alpha. You got to
Yeah.
find the alpha in the class and take
it's the
care
first
of him.
kid, and you make an
immediately.
example out of him like
Yep.
that. Guarantee you're not gonna have any more issues. In fact, you're gonna be like the popular sub.
Here's my do. My do is, so here's the thing. When you're the substitute, I mean, yeah, you clearly have a name, but once you leave that day, it doesn't really matter what the hell your name is because you're never coming back most of the time. So here's the thing. When you go to the board to write your name, think of a celebrity that you know all these kids will probably know and
Oh,
write
yeah.
and put yourself as the same last name. Also bring a picture, a Photoshop picture of you and said celebrity and put it on your desk when you sit down.
Yes. Yes.
And like think of somebody, okay, like Post Malone. Like all these kids might be into Post Malone. Your name, Miss Malone. And then you put a picture of you and Post Malone down on your desk, and all the kids are like, "Oh my God, like you know Post Malone, or like
Yeah,
you know ASAP Rocky, Mrs. Rocky."
This is Mrs. ASAP Rocky.
And so pick a celebrity that everybody is good would know. Photoshop a picture. It's very quick. Or go hire somebody on Fiverr or somebody to put a quick Photoshop together of you and them, like at the beach or something. And then just live that lie and get that respect for that hour.
I think it'd be super effective if you did like a celebrity who's now passed away, right? Hard to verify. Hard to you'd be like, yeah, that was my cousin. It was a really, really tough loss. But
Yeah.
here's the picture. It's been super great, dude. That's such a good idea.
Yep.
The street cred you get, because everyone's gonna be like,
Right off
oh,
the bat.
dude, my substitute teacher is literally related to Alex Trebek,
Yeah.
or like something like that, or be like,
Mr.
yeah.
Carter. And it's like, yeah,
my-
Jay-Z's my uncle. Like he's a nice guy. And
He's
like
cool. I mean,
right off the bat,
shows up at all the family functions. You know, we're not really close, but
like you're white. Exactly. That's why we don't really talk about it too much. What's
I
a
like
don't?
that.
What's
Okay.
a don't for substitute teaching?
don't for substitute teaching. Don't use the lesson plan. Listen, when someone has already filed for a substitute teacher,
Yeah.
they've officially given up on that day.
Absolutely.
That's a loss. Chalk that up in the.
They don't
in
care
the-
what's gonna happen.
That's in the L column. The teacher knows. They're just like, hey, we just need someone to be there, right?
Yeah, we just need a body.
Basically, they're just there. The sub is there so the teacher doesn't get fined.
Yep.
That's the whole deal. So why waste your time trying to teach a subject that you might know? I'm saying, like, you walk in, have a few quizzes prepared, but it's all like joke quizzes, prank quizzes.
Yeah.
Just start teaching them random facts.
Just filled with like disgusting words.
Yeah, that are like, teach them random facts that are 100% incorrect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
yeah. Teach them the wrong thing.
Backed up by science. Like, throw up these things and be like, hey, did you know that you're 6 times more likely to die from eating toast than you are from eating pancakes?
Did you know scientists proved last year that there were really only 3 planets in our solar system?
Yeah,
You'd
and
be
like-
like, oh, I don't.
And they're going to spread this stuff all over school, but like,
Yeah.
why bother teaching the lesson plan?
Exactly.
Because
Or find out what the lesson, like when the teacher tells you we're doing a lesson plan on like on this subject matter, then go and do that research of all things that are not true about that subject matter.
even better,
Yeah.
when you're grading all of their tests,
Yeah.
mark everything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's right, mark it wrong and mark the incorrect answers correct, and do this randomly throughout the stack, and so you
Sure.
have just people coming up to you nonstop complaining about this, and you being like, hey, I didn't write the test.
This is
I'm just
the
grading
answer
it.
key your
Yeah.
teacher gave us.
That way there's a stack of complaints for the teacher when he gets back.
My don't would be when you go into the classroom, don't sit like where the teacher would sit. take a desk among the students, and then be like, like if any students ask like, who are you? Just be like, oh, I'm a new transfer student. Like, it doesn't matter if you're like clearly like 26 and they're all 14. Just be like, oh yeah, I'm new here. I'm a transfer over. And then at a certain point, when everyone else is like, God, where the teacher is, you'd be like, yeah, where the hell is the teacher? You know what, guys? I'll just be the teacher for the day. I mean, whatever. Like, oh, look at me, I'm the teacher. Oh, let's get to work. And then like people will be like, okay, that's funny, man. Brendan, like you can be our teacher today. And then that way you can win over their trust because they'll be like, he's one of us.
Oh, okay. I like
You know?
that. I had a vision in my head of like,
Backward baseball cap, feet up on the
like,
desk, just like, oh,
you're walking in, right,
skateboard.
but it's like the opening to Willy Wonka. You're like kind of
Yeah.
limping,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you just fall,
Oh.
do a somersault, stand up, and be like, "Just kidding, I'm."
You stand there with a fake face on the back of your head that's facing the class, and you move your arms, and it looks like the puppet thing is moving its arms. And like you do like a weird voice, and they're like, God, who's this German substitute we have? And then you turn around and be like, F you, I was just kidding. It's me. What's up? Here's your test. Take
Yeah.
it now. So that's my don't.
I like it.
Let's do one more here for do's and don'ts. I'll let you pick because I picked substitute teacher.
Let's do public speaking.
Ooh.
That's a tough one. Everyone nowadays has to present in meetings now. Maybe
Yep.
you're still in school. You got to give verbal
I
presentations.
love public speaking. I'm fine with it,
You're
but
good
there are
at public
plenty of people
speaking.
that are not. Plenty of people are terrified.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I got better at it because I had no choice.
Abby's
and that's
definitely
something.
terrified of public
That's
speaking.
something you just have to get you just have to get it over with, because like there are a few people that enjoy it. Like you're one of the few that actually enjoys doing that.
Yeah, I turn
But
it into a bit.
a majority of the population hates it. But if you just start doing it, it'll become manageable.
Yeah.
Like because like I've had to present at meetings and stuff like this and all that other stuff. I hate every second of it,
Yeah.
but you can learn to fake it.
So do's. We'll start with do's. I'll go first. So a do for public speaking. You have to have your public speaking starters that get everybody comfortable with the situation. Some common starters are things like, guys, I'll make this quick. Or, I won't take too much of your time. Or, like, emphasize the fact that this is going to be a very quick presentation. Or be like, yeah, I just threw something together here to talk to you guys about. Keep it casual. We're all just hanging out.
Yeah.
We're all just friends. You're friends. I'm friends. I didn't do any preparation for this speech at all. I'm just, guys, I'm going to go
everyday
off the
Joe.
top of the dome. I'm Everyday Joe. Nice to meet you. I'll make this quick. You need to have your comfort setters at the start of your speech or presentation to get everybody relaxed. Maybe kick your feet up on a desk and just be like, hey guys, let's just do this. I don't have any slides. I'm just here to talk to you. And then you kind of do that, and they're like, no, you needed slides. That was part of the presentation. Great. But yeah, you want to be relaxed. Be as relaxed as possible. That would be my do.
So my do is going to be you want to make an impact, right? Now this one's going to take some prep work because you're going to actually have to learn to be good at public speaking, sort of. So like just be comfortable. You know your speech in and out, right? Now I want you to carry in a stack of blank index cards.
Ooh, okay.
And you're going to come up to the front. You're going to look a little nervous. You're going to like look around and be like, you know what? And you throw those index cards.
Whoa.
And they're going to be like, his notes, right? And then you're just going to rip your speech and be like, I'm not going to talk to you about this today. You throw the fake notes and be like, this is what I want to talk to you about, you know? It is a lot of pressure, and we're just going to make it relaxed. So you need to have that motion. You need to see them.
You take a match and you just burn the note cards and
That
dump it in the
even better.
trash.
Yeah, you just light it on fire. Be
Something
like,
really showy.
yeah, and you just it makes an impact. It has there's nothing on there. It doesn't
Wow,
matter.
this guy doesn't give a
Yeah, he's
I
just,
like this guy.
He's out here to talk to us and not read off of a prompt.
I like it.
Yeah.
My don't is here's kind of a thing that you may not think is a good advice. If you have to public speak, don't speak.
Oh, are you about to take
It
mine?
is one of
Oh.
it is one of the biggest power moves you can
Oh,
possibly
okay.
do.
No, I like this. Yeah. No, keep going.
And that means you don't say a word.
Well, yeah.
Actions speak louder than words. We're talking miming your presentation. How do you think mimes make millions of dollars every single day?
Practice.
So what you're gonna do is you can still got the slides, you still have the props, but you're not gonna say a goddamn word, because you know what? You are gonna have everyone's attention in that moment because they're all gonna be trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
Are you still like doing the And you look at this, you point, you
You're
circle.
acting like that. You're going through the slides. Here you go.
Oh, and maybe at the end of the presentation, you write down on a piece of paper, sorry, my sign language interpreter didn't show up.
Yeah.
today."
That way you could have an excuse. Because here's the thing. If you're just doing a speech or something, people are going to zone out. It's proven by science.
That is
after
a power move.
After
Because if
45 seconds, people aren't really going to be paying attention. But with this, they're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Why isn't he talking? They're going to be paying very close attention
Because
to
the silence is something they're not used to.
Again, actions speak louder
that's
than words.
That's a total power move. You're right. You wait for them to make the first move.
Yep.
You let them explain what you're talking about.
That's
I
my
love
don't.
it. My don't is going to be don't speak yourself. Lip sync to a pre-recorded speech done by somebody else. Maybe someone famous. Maybe you went on Fiverr. You got like a really crazy voice accent. And you're going to hit play and you're going to lip sync the entire speech. And it's gonna bring like people are gonna start associating as like something crazy. Maybe it's like it's some famous voice and they're like, wow, this guy is amazing at accents.
Yeah.
And you're gonna lip sync it. And that way,
it's an attention grabber.
And technically,
and they can't get mad at you for being bad because you just be like, I didn't say anything.
And you get a bad grade.
Yeah.
It wasn't your speech because you technically
my fault.
didn't say a word.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Blame. I was gonna say
Blame society.
Blame Hitler. Like, well, don't do a Hitler
Are
speech.
you giving Mein Kampf?
No, I like that idea. Especially, I like the idea of you having to pay somebody, like a voiceover actor on like
Give them
Fiverr, to do it.
a 6-page report.
Yeah.
Read this.
And submit this to me, and then I'll just kind of stand up there.
A total power move too would just when you get out on the stage, you go and you bring in somebody, and somebody else gives your speech while you watch.
Yeah.
And then you come onto the stage and be like, so that person will be like, "Hi, I speak for Salty Dalton on all matters."
And when they finish, you go up to the microphone and go, "Thank you," and then you go sit down.
Yeah, and say, "Please direct all questions," and you point to the professor.
I like it. I like it. Oh, do you have a... Oh, I think that's yours.
It says unknown.
Actually got one of those today.
Oh, okay. Hello, Random Word Podcast. Hello.
I almost accidentally hit the medieval music for call center because from the medieval cast. This is the call center. Again, your chance to get in touch with the show. The randomwordblog at gmail.com is the best way to get in touch. Now, I did have a late addition to this. I wanted to read off here. Got it. This is a question from Darius. Darius says, what's the most uncomfortable situation you have ever been in? Darius is asking this question. Whew.
That's tough.
Now, there are some that I can think of, but I can't say.
Yeah, some of them are... some of them... let's see here.
Think of something that we can say. Oof.
Well, I was on a flight one time, and I had the middle seat.
Mm-hmm.
And this was really bad because, like, I basically was sitting in front of two... It was like a couple, right? So it was this guy and this girl.
Yep.
Clearly, like, kind of looked like they maybe were like really like a new couple. They were like kind of like handsy and stuff before
Very
I sat
touchy-feely.
down. Yeah, and they were like weird, and that was the worst part. And like I say that because like I'm weird. I'm a weird guy, but when I sat there, my expectation sitting in a middle seat is that it's just an unspoken rule. Like you don't can speak to anyone.
Yeah.
You sit there, you get the flight over with, unless you know the person. It's just you have to stay in your lane because you can't lean on the other person. The other person gets the window, the one person gets the aisle. Now these two people were hell-bent on involving me in everything that they were doing.
Oh no.
So, and I remember this very clearly because I was on my way back from Colorado. This is a couple of years ago. And they brought out a deck of cards. And this is after, like, they're having this full-blown discussion about, like, things they like about each other and stuff. Well, I'm just sitting here, right? And this is happening. And I'm just like, I asked, I said, would you be okay if we switch seats so you can be next to him?
Which is a logical move.
And they were like, no, it's fine. And I was like, okay.
It's not fine.
And so
not
then
fine at all.
So we take off, right? And then they break out the deck of cards, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play? You want to play cards?" And I'm just like, God, Jesus. And the other guy's like, yeah, no, please, come on, like, play cards with us. It'd be, like, really fun because, like, we want to meet new people. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, I can play, like, one game, and then I'm going to try to catch up on my sleep because, you know,
it's always a good excuse.
Early flight or something. And we start playing Go Fish.
Ugh.
And it's Go Fish when you're all sitting in a row. So I'm just like...
You can, like, see everybody's cards.
And basically, and there's only 3 people, so it's just like, do you have this? No. And like, do you have this? No. It was terrible. But guess what? After you finished that game, immediately started dealing everyone in for a second one. This went on for probably 2 hours.
Because you're trying to be polite. Like, you can't just be like, hey, you guys go screw. Like, I really don't want to be involved in this.
It was terrible.
Ugh.
By the time we landed, they were like, hey, do you want to like exchange emails? And like, this is a really crazy flight. I feel like it's fun that we all met. And I literally said, no, thank you. And I've never seen them again. But that's like one of the most like PG uncomfortable moments I've been in. But it was just like, there were so many flags that I was raising for them to stop. And this is why I'm just like, is it my fault?
Yeah.
For getting into this, because I gave them so many chances to understand the social anxiety that I was going through, and also just no boundaries. Like, it was just like they were like touching each other over me, they were like playing, they were like laughing, making these jokes, and I was like, I will move seats for you.
That's like the one where I was in the seat, and the 2 people next to me were like complete strangers, and the woman got drunk and like spilled some wine on me, and I had to be like, oh, it's okay, and she was like, I didn't ask, are you okay? And it was just awkward. I think the only other one that comes to mind that we talked a little bit about in the show is just that whole job, the fake job thing, the thing that was in DC, and when I had to go and like sitting in that room during like what would have been the first day of a job that nobody had actually signed up yet for, and to sign, they passed around contracts. It was like, you're gonna make $18,000 here working in Washington DC, and like, just go ahead and sign at the dotted line, and me being like, I'm not gonna sign this at all, and I had worn a suit that day. It was but I think we chronicled that on this show. But that one, the airplane thing, I mean, airplanes in general, I just always feel very awkward, especially when you are by yourself and you're given a seat partner that you're just know right off the bat they're chatty Cathy. You just get that. It usually happens when they first sit down. They'll usually be something like, ooh, they'll like plop down and just be like, oh man, you ready for a long flight? Or something like that. They'll like say something and they'll engage you immediately.
Yep. And
what they're trying to do is they're trying to see, okay, is this guy game? Is he a talker too? Is he gonna engage with me? And if you just go like, and then you like go back to your book, you may be able to shut him down. If you are too friendly back, they're going to be like, all right, it's playtime. We're going to be talking the rest of the flight. I remember having a conversation with a guy where I just made up like everything about my life. He was like, what do you do? I was like, I work for Apple. And I like made up all this stuff, and he's like, oh, how do you like working from there? Like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm working on the next iPhone, but I can't really tell you any details about it. I literally made up this entire fake life. I said
that guy probably told stories about you.
100%, because I like dropped some hints about the new iPhone and stuff like that at the time, and it was like wildly not true. And I was like, I live in California, I'm married, I've got a couple kids. I made up like this crazy double life, and this guy like thought I was so interesting.
It up, yeah.
He thought I was so interesting. There was another time where I pretended I was a basketball scout for a college because I was wearing like George Mason stuff, and they're like, oh, George Mason, like what do you do, why are you traveling to Detroit or something like that? And I was like, oh, I'm a scout for the team, we're recruiting right now this kid in Detroit. Made up a whole I just lie. That's what I do on flights. I lie. That's what I do. Next one here for call center. Thank you, Darius, for emailing in, by the way. Kenny, 24 years old. Subject line, animal attack. What do you think is the most powerful animal, and
liger?
Why? A hippo. We talked about this on the last show.
I think a liger is probably a little bit
A hippo
more.
kills more people in Africa than tigers or other people.
Yeah, but a liger is a lion and a tiger. It's like 600 pounds.
Is
of
it
nothing,
even real?
But yeah, they're real. Okay. But the thing is, when they're bred, the liger itself is infertile, so it can't have kids. So they're kind of like one-offs.
So there's only one of them?
There's only there might be like 1 or 2 in the world right now, but they are, if you see videos of these things, terrifying death machines. Huge. Okay. Hands down.
I'd say the hippo or one of those frogs that can spit on you and you die.
What?
There are certain frogs that if they spit their venom on you, you're gonna die. Doesn't matter. You're just like, oh, what a cute frog, and it goes, and it spits like right into you, and it gets into any orifice. You're gonna die.
Okay, so it's an orifice. Like if it spits on your arm, you're okay.
No, I feel like that would just be a little acid or something. But if it gets in like your eyes or your ears or your mouth or your
Dunzo?
nose,
No questions asked.
you're gonna die.
Just Dunzo?
You're gonna die. Yeah,
That's hardcore. But
There's-
that's not an animal, is it?
it's a frog.
That's a reptile.
Okay.
Well, no, are they? Are they amphibian?
Do they feel? Tilly is just like waiting
Tilly's
for me to
been
drop
staring
something.
at you nonstop.
Do they fall under the big? Oh god, people nerds that like your sister who listens.
Yeah,
like,
Chelsea, why don't you let
she's
us know?
a scientist or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stick with ligers. So,
I'll go hippos or spitting frog.
okay, who would win a fight between those two?
Spitting frog. You take one spit, the liger would open its mouth to roar. Spitting frog right in there. Lion would be like, whoa, okay, Jesus, dude. All right, what's the final call center here before we call it a day?
Gail, 30 and
Gale.
Gail.
Yeah, I
That's
do
a
that.
good one.
Anything that ends in ale, I do that all the time. And Abby's like, please stop.
I listened to that one section of the song so many
Yeah.
times just because, like, it was just I was just
Like
so ready.
anytime I pass by a house on the street that's for sale, I always go sale.
Money talks. I finally got a new job offer.
Ooh,
Congratulations!
congrats.
After spending the last 4 years at a really shitty company,
Oh,
I was underpaid, and I've never negotiated a salary before. Tips and tricks to get more money. That's a pretty practical question.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel like we've covered some of this on this show before, because I remember specifically one of the advice that we gave was go in exorbitantly high with your
Right.
salary request, and that way, on the opposite moon from what you actually are going for, because that way you slowly work your way down until finally they're like, okay, that sounds reasonable, and then you're good with whatever that salary is at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, salaries are really all about, it's you're getting paid for the work you do, right?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Whoa,
what am I,
okay.
14 again?
Oh. Hey, this is all.
Hey guys. So the thing is, if they're just judging you on the
Yeah.
work that you're going to do or
Sure.
you're doing right now, you need to add in additional factors.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do you do this spreadsheet analysis, but you're the one who makes coffee in the coffee pot for everyone in the morning.
Oh, it's like me.
Maybe you're the one who makes the extra effort to recycle paper at the place. Maybe you hold open the door for people. Maybe you can juggle. You need to introduce as many side attributes
Sure.
to your base job
Like
as
under
possible.
the table attributes.
And maybe in your job descriptions and stuff, maybe be like, yeah, well, I did this, but also I sort of had to run investigative analysis on my boss's wife. She's suspected of cheating. I had to do a whole PI thing. It's listed under other duties, and
It
that
could be
one,
like, I gave a CPR to a couple whales last year.
yeah.
Like,
And
what?
you're not just paying for me; you're paying for the experience of me to work here.
Yeah.
And I bring a certain pizzazz to the office, which, frankly, that you're interviewing for shows that you lack it.
I lived on a mountain since '98.
I feel like the more things you can spin about yourself,
Yeah.
in that
They
negotiation,
don't even have to be true.
yeah,
In fact, preferably they're not true.
yeah, and so
Because who's going to be able to prove that they're not?
right. I mean, they would have to be there unless
Yeah.
unless they know you. In that case,
Unless they're like your mom.
yeah. What if?
If your mom's your boss.
But
Clean your room.
for some real tidbits here, there's like 3 things you can do that will be immediately effective.
Okay.
The first one
Kill your boss.
is murder your boss.
Absolutely murder.
It's
It'd be like,
called
well, if nobody else is going to step up, I'll take the role. I'll be the boss. It's fine.
so it's called extreme anchoring, and so we joke about walking in and asking for $4 million.
Yeah.
And
Tilly,
But you
I
need-
can't help you.
Tilly just wants to snuggle on you so bad.
I think
Tilly,
no,
what are you
she's just
doing?
waiting for me to drop a morsel of food. That's what it's waiting for.
But I'll wrap this up. But so basically, it's Tilly. Oh my God, you're relentless, Tilly. Stop. Just calm down. Jesus. Tilly's like, yo, look at me. Look at me right
Dog's
now.
giving me
I'm
the
so
eye.
hungry. It's
What
called
do you feed Tilly?
dude. She has the weirdest eating schedule in the entire world. Also, she eats like a pig.
Yeah.
it'll be like she won't touch her food until 9 p.m. at night, and then we'll eat an entire bowl and then more.
I got nothing for you, Tilly. I'm sorry.
She has to poops like 6 times on one walk.
Oh, well, me too.
It's like a nugget at a time.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Imagine if she had some of those scenarios we mentioned earlier.
Anyway, so it's called extreme anchoring.
Okay.
So you look at your salary range, right?
Yeah.
And you take the top end and you add an extra 20 or 30%. So nothing drastic, but you walk in there and that's your initial opening offer, right? And so what that does is the company is looking in that big number and that's their starting point.
Sure.
So even if they walk down 20%, you're at the top end of where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So you can extreme anchor in either direction, right? So you can say like, well, the lowest, the bottom of the pay scale for this current position is 72,500. So that's the second portion. Use very specific numbers. When you're using a range, don't always just say, oh, it's probably around 80K. Say specific numbers because that means that you have actually done some
research.
work.
Even if you haven't,
it shows that you have a very specific number and you arrived at that number somehow.
You took some effort into it.
It did. So you do extreme anchors. You use a very specific number set. And the last one that you do is you just... I don't know.
What you do is you go to the person that does the accounting, like the billing in your office, and you go, Brad passed the memo to you about my raise, right, for the starting next quarter. And then they're like, oh, I didn't get any memo. Make sure that this is somebody who's like really busy and be like, oh, well, okay, that's why I'm following up. Because Brad said he was going to do it this week. He may not have done it, but just go ahead and just start it because the next paycheck's coming. It was an additional $20,000 on my pay. That was the raise. And she'll be like, wait, do I have to talk to Brad? And be like, no, don't talk to Brad. He's in a really bad mood. I'll save you on that one. Just go ahead and just add in that 20,000.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me. So the last thing that you do is if they will not budge on certain things, start using your commute and start using extra regions to squeeze a little bit more cash out. Say, hey, I take the train every day to get to work. This expense is $200 a month. Why don't we just go ahead and do 200 times 12? And I'm going to need an extra, couple $1,000.
$5 million.
Added, and we'll call it a travel stipend. And that way you increase your base salary and, you maybe get your transportation covered. Save you some cash.
What was the name of the person that emailed?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know. Appreciate you reaching in to us.
I was thinking more like a prostate exam.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Why'd you make that noise?
Because you don't make those noises at your prostate exam?
Ooh.
We might be going to different doctors. The random word blog at gmail.com is the best way to get in touch with the show. By the way, shout out to the rando fan that has been commenting on our Instagram a lot.
I'm glad we're getting some traction here.
Because I'm pretty sure, and like if you are this person, like don't take offense to this. We have no idea who you are. And that's good for us. That's good for us because that means that you're listening and you don't know us. So that means, Nisha1319 on Instagram. Appreciate the love. She commented on our last one. Good episode with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clapping emojis.
That means we did a good job.
She gave us a 6 claps out of 5.
That's basically a standing ovation.
Yeah, so thanks, Anisha, if that is your name. And again, you can follow us on Instagram at The Random Word Podcast and email us, like I mentioned. And besides that, Salty Don'ts.
Send in voice memos, please.
Yes, we got 2 weeks. Voice memos and emails. Like I said, we've got a couple emails right now. I want some voice memos so we can play them live on the show. We'll be playing clips from episode 1 as
we're going to revisit Ground Zero.
Yeah, it was an interesting time just a year ago. I mean,
still think
you didn't have that tattoo.
Some of our funniest jokes were in the beginning.
Yeah,
we were pretty drunk.
Yeah, we get wasted at the show. Salty Dalton, the way we end the show.
Look at those little drumsticks. Look at those little things. You're gonna pop those up like a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I don't want to think about eating your dog, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Tilly, what are you?
Tilly's just freaking out. As we end the shows on this season, the way we do it is we count down, we do 3, 2, 1, and then we say the first word that pops into our head. And again, the rule is, if Salty Dalton and I ever say the same word, we stop
end the show
It
immediately.
Never existed. It will never exist again. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Nuclear.
Oh, thank God.
Oh God, I was gonna say Turner, and I was like, is he gonna say Turner?
It was between shoe rack, collar, and camera.
Mine was nuclear, Turner, or cheeseburger.
All right, we were good on all fronts.
So,
we were all
Jesus.
right.
We
All right,
really-
well, I guess the show must go on.
We dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Again, this
Sayonara,
is
my
your mom's
sweet.
No.
Is that yours?
This is your mom's favorite podcast.
This is your mom's favorite podcast.
Sayonara, my sweet suckers.
We are outie.